Hello everyone, Bertina Amy here, and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I thought I would do a DIY Dollar Tree turkey wreath. And this idea was inspired by a sort of happy accident. So let's get started. So I picked up this bike wreath form, and unfortunately, I did not make sure to be careful with this. This ended up underneath some other groceries with shopping and everything. I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was sturdy enough. It broke on me. And rather than return it, I thought, you know what? Let me see and hold on to it and see if I could make something with it, because I didn't want to possibly return it and possibly have this be thrown in the garbage. It's only $1.25, but I just don't want things to go to waste. So, what can we do if we end up with a bike wreath form and we realize, oh my God, it broke? I had this idea. I'm still going to make a wreath out of it. I'm just not going to make the original idea. That original idea will be next week instead. But this will be the last fall wreath idea I do for the rest of the year. Let's see if I could perhaps bend this. Oh boy. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me which direction I can bend this at. Maybe the edge of the table. All right, so I use the edge of the table. I'm bending it a little bit. You can see it's kind of not really straight anymore. I'm going to try to bend this some more off camera. Okay, so now I have this almost at a 90-degree angle. Maybe if I use these to help me bend it more. And then from the other side. All right, I got for sure a 90-degree angle now. I think I might be able to get it the rest of the way. Okay. All right, you can kind of see now it's kind of like a taco shape. Call me strange. I like to leave these tags on in case I ever want to sell these, because then I can just put a sticker over top and put a price tag on it. Just an idea. Totally optional. Obviously, you can remove it. I might do so later on, but for the moment, I'm focused more on just getting this bent, or maybe bent out of shape. Okay, I'm actually pretty okay with this. I don't actually mind um, this being, it's a little off center, but I can work with that. This is going to be the more perfect one is going to be in the front, and the not so pretty one is going to be in the back. At least that is my goal. Okay, so all it took was I undid my original fold and then folded it back again, and that was enough to break these sides off, but it's still attached by a few of these wires. And actually that's going to work out perfectly just for me, because what I can do is I can try to get it so that they align as perfectly as I can make it, because it's a little bit more adjustable this way, and I'm okay with that. But again, because the ones that kind of broke off on me anyway, I'm actually going to use those as my back pieces, if that makes sense. So if you've been following my channel already for a while now, you know that earlier this fall when I made my DIY pumpkin wreath, I want to follow the same process, and this time, instead of using the orange ribbon, I'm going to be using these like tan ones with the gold edging. And my goal is I'm going to start from the left. I'm going to wrap this one. No, wait, is this my better side? Yes, it's my better side. Wrap this one and then alternating, and then hang on. This one, this one, this one, this one, and then I'll get the backs, this one, and this one. And most likely you're not going to see the imperfections that were caused by it being broken. So as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to completely take this off the roll. I don't even know how many of these I'm going to need, because this is not a very long section. Okay, we're going to find the middle of this. Don't forget to unfold here. So I found the center. This is half of the 3 yards. I'm going to go ahead and cut this because I don't think I'm going to need all 3 yards. All right, these are my centers. All right, so here are my 2 sets of ribbon folded in half both ways. And now what I do want to point out is once you get to this point, you have approximately, since I divided this in half, like this is about 1.5 feet or so. And that sounds like a lot, but the thing is, I'm worried that if I cut this further in half, that there's not going to be enough to wrap a whole section. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start wrapping, and then we'll see what we're left with. If there's excess, I can always cut them off and then glue them together and reuse. And okay, so you have 2 options here, but because of what I'm making, I'm actually going to turn this upside down, and I'm going to not worry about the pieces that are kind of dangling in the back. I actually want to start. Okay, I tend to like to go from left to right. I'm going to cover this side first because what I want to do, if there are going to be any sort of tails, I would rather it end up over here rather than over here. And I think it just makes more sense to do it that way. So let's go ahead and start. We got our center here. We got our fold. I want this as centered as possible. I'm not going to worry about what the middle looks like. We can always cover that up later. But basically, I am going to wrap this. It's going this way, pull through. Okay, and then okay, so I want, now that I've started it like this, I want my right to always show up to be over my left. Oh gosh. And then of course the wire and the broken wire is catching onto the ribbon, so be careful. Try not to ruin your ribbon in the process. So okay, we're going to repeat until we get to the end. And now I'm starting to feel like, yeah, we probably could have cut this in half. It'll be fine. I'm not even going to worry about it. But I might want these back pieces to have actual little tails sticking out. I haven't figured that out yet. We'll get there. But for now, we are just going to enjoy the wrapping process. All right, since there's a little bit of gap here, I don't want that gap to be seen. Same with this side. So I'm going to, even if it looks kind of tight, I'm just going to go one more round because I don't want it to be loose anyway. Through this way, and then one more round through that way, right over left. Okay, and then to keep it on here, we're going to wrap it around the bar on both sides. Oh goodness. And it starts to get tight, but that's fine. I don't want it to come undone. So, okay. I am good with that. Okay. So there's the first round. We have excess. That's fine. I might tie it around this. We'll worry about that later. But I'll come back once this one and this one are done. Okay, so here we have 3 sections already completed, and I'm leaving these tails for the moment. We're not going to worry about anything with them because you never know when you might need to use those tails. And actually, I'm glad I only cut these in half. So this is one roll. This is another, this is a half of a roll. Trying to do the wrapping. Hold on, this is looking... Okay, yeah, so right over the left. I'm trying to get the gold to show, but you know what? It's fine if it doesn't. It's nothing handmade is ever perfect, but it can be beautiful, right? So, not gonna fuss over imperfections. Okay, so this is going to be interesting, but it should work out beautifully because even though these pieces aren't attached, I'll be able to make sure they are with this method. So I think after doing this one, you get the idea. I'm going to go ahead and do these back pieces. Okay, quick tip. If you decide to recreate this project anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm wrapping all the way to here. And then before I wrap it around these wires, I'm going to go ahead and do this side. Okay, so go through here this way. And this one too through here. Okay. And then it's left over right like so. So I'm gonna do okay. And then I'm gonna repeat that with the rest of them, making sure to go around the back wire because I want it nice and together. Okay, so I've undone them or undid them or whatever, and let's see here. This one actually should go through like so. Okay, so this way we'll capture the back end wire, and then we're just going to tighten all of these like so. I don't mind a little bit showing, although if we really want it to be particular, we could pull this out if we're like, we don't want to see that in the front end of things. There we go. That looks better to me. Okay, so then tighten. Okay, we're going to come back to this one. Actually, no, we can do this. Fix this one. Okay, and we'll still be able to tie it like so. This one over this last bar. Okay, tighten. This one's already over the last bar and tighten. Okay, so now so you try to space this out some more, and then that way there's no gap. I don't mind this gap here so much. We can always cover that. Now, if you're making this and you realize, oh my goodness, there's way too much of a gap, like say here, you can always, the good thing is as long as you didn't put hot glue, you can always decide that you're going to go back and do another round. The only thing is that it's going to look really tight, but if you don't mind that, and I don't, then you can go back. I really love the way this project works out because you can always fix whatever you want. Okay, so I want the right over the left, and then pulling them through, kind of almost like making a knot. And then this one goes through here. And then taut. So that way there's no gaps. I think that's looking really good. And if this one's not tight enough, we can redo this one as well. And then taut. So I picked up this pom-pom craft kit. It actually was the very last one. from the Dollar Tree, and I'm actually really excited about it because I wanted to use that head, face, neck thing for my project. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart. Okay, so, right, it's sealed like this. So I'm just going to pull everything out though. And the googly eye. Okay, there's the googly eye. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and hot glue this piece on first. It's probably going to be really hot on my fingers. So I've got these maple leaves, and interestingly enough, they have two different types of packs of these maple leaves. But what I wanted to share is this one has the red maple leaves and the gold. I really like that look. This one comes with, actually they both come with green, but this one does not have, even from the side view, you don't see any gold in this one. I decided to kind of take the tails and then glue them together, and then I stuck a pipe cleaner so I could shape it. I'm just going to eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. And this one was pretty long. I'm thinking of going there, just eyeballing it. Okay, and then I like to get a better edge, fold it, and we can make it a bigger fold if that's not short enough. And same with this, folding it in, kind of like making just a nicer edge. And so this can go, because this one's the longer piece, we're going to go like that. And I am good with that length. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add glue here, and then fold, press down with my fingers, and then make sure it still has that fold. And then repeat with this side. Okay, and then fold, press down, and then because this is the shorter end, we're going to attach it, let it overlap. Try to get as centered as possible. I'm not looking for perfection. A little extra overlap is totally fine. So about there. So glue there, and then okay, we want to make sure it doesn't transfer all the way through because we're going to put pipe cleaner inside. So I have excess pipe cleaners, and I thought I would go ahead and use up some of my red fuzzy pipe cleaners. You can kind of see through these, but it's not super strong through them. It does kind of fade out a bit, and I don't mind that. So I'm just going to use this because it's something I already have on hand. If you don't have any pipe cleaners, go ahead and pick up whatever shade. Brown would be a great color for this because it'll just blend right in. But I really don't think it's that noticeable even if you don't have the brown ones and you use a different color. Like, you probably can get away with like any color. Okay, so I'm trying to get it up to the fold. You can glue it in, but I'm just, in case I change my mind, I want to use a different color or something like that. I just want to, and then you can kind of shape it if you want, something like that. And then all the other ones are done. And then this is from Dollar Tree, wire jute cord. I don't own a wire cutter, so I'm just going to bend it back and forth, but I'm going to go ahead and take this off. So I'm going to just bend it here, and then I'm going to use that as my template. So every time I get to the edge, bend it, and then excess. So let's see how many we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's that half feet they were talking about. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is going to work really, really well. So take one of these. They're very bendable. So I'm going to have them. So if I go from the back, my goal here is to get them wrapped around the corners. And if I need to, I'll use hot glue. Pliers so I can make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, so I'm good with that. All right, so I'm gonna do the rest of this wired twine off camera. I'm sorry, wired jute cord. Wired jute cord. I'm gonna do the rest of this off camera, come back, and then we'll embellish the rest of this. So for the legs and feet for my turkey, I'm just gonna take 3 pipe cleaners that are orange. You could use brown if you have that on hand instead, whatever you have. And I'm just going to twist it together in the center, and I'm going to keep twisting it all the way till about, I think that's good. Repeat that on this side. Okay, and then bend this in half. Make sure these are even. I think these are big enough feet, so I'm going to bend it like this. If we want, we can just give it sort of like claws. So bend it like that. So then I'm just going to glue this right here. I think that's perfect. Let that set. Is optional, but I really want this turkey to seem thicker than it is. It's really, really thin. And I have this scrap thick felt. It's pretty stiff. You could tell, like, you can see creases as you, I don't know if you could see that, but you can see creases as you fold it. Let me cut around it first. I don't want to cut the brown at all, but I'm using it as a guide. And trim this off a bit. And then adjust where necessary. So some areas aren't great. I should have done this first, so if you agree and you want your pieces to be thicker, I would do this part before gluing things down to it, or gluing things down at all. That's looking better already. Just I go even narrower because I just want to make sure the white's not visible unless you look really close to the turkey. Alright, looks like some more trimming is needed. Yeah, I like that so much better. Okay, so next I'm actually going to go ahead and glue these leaves. If you know for sure you want to do this the way I'm doing it, instead of gluing it to the back, glue this to the turkey first, then glue the whole thing to this, because that would actually give it some more stability, if that makes sense. At least I feel that way. It might give it some more dimension doing it the way I'm doing it, so see, I'm just going to add glue here and here, and then all right, we're going to run a bead of glue here. This is going to be behind the turkey. Same with the other side. I like that. I think that's pretty. All right, I want this flat, so I'm just going to glue these leaves down. And I think having it like this looks more natural. Because up here, it just looks... I mean, if you decide to recreate this, you put them however... I mean, that... I don't think that looks natural at all, but I'm thinking like... This is where that circular bar piece is. It definitely needs to be at least here. But I feel like because the majority of the feathers are so narrow rather than large, I think it looks better if I just go a little bit down. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue. I'm just going to go ahead and attach this. I'll do more than a bead of glue. Okay. So right there. And then to further embellish, I thought I would go ahead and use these leaves from the pack as well. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. You put as much embellishments or as little as you wish when you make it, if you decide to make it. I almost forgot something, but okay. I wanted to add these to my turkey. These are also optional. I'm going to have to do my best to tuck these in so that it doesn't disturb the turkey. Okay, last but not least, we're going to give this a hanger so we could hang this. I'm just going to use some jute twine. Get the scissors out of the way. And I'm going to flip the turkey over. And let's see, 2, 4, right here. So what I'm going to do, and this may seem kind of tricky to do now. Let's see if I can see the twine coming through. There it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a knot. And then you know what, I'm going to do it twice. And then I'm going to just make a loop and make a knot like that. And then we have a hanger. This feels thin, but it should be more than enough. And then, as I said earlier, I didn't glue these down because I might change the pipe cleaners that are inside them for now, but I'm just going to leave it. It's not going to fall out, but if you don't want them visible, just glue them down. and I might choose to do that off camera. And here's the final result. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.